Yeah, I was really excited that Bill was considering coming on Shopley. We have a small resort up in Northern Ontario on the waterfront, but we actually have a fuel station and we have a lot of snowmobilers that come in. So we were looking for something environmental to clean up some of the spills that those snowmobilers do. And that's how we found Bill and his Petrobuster. But I was really excited with his wine buster. I don't know if you can see this. This is one of my favorite shirts. It was covered in cooking grease and fuel and working around the property with wood, like, sap off of wood because we've got campsites and stuff like that. It was just 5 years of grime. And so when he told me about the wine buster, I put it on the shirt and it looked brand new. So I'm just super excited to have Bill have his products available because they are so environmental and they work amazing.
Wow. Thank you, Yvette. Right on. Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Bill Flig, and I'm the president of Petrobuster. So I've got a few minutes here, and I do have my timer on. Let me know if my internet connection can be a little spotty. So if I start to get delayed a bit, I'll just turn off my camera. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zip through a PowerPoint quite quickly, just to get some information across. Bear with me. I just want to move this bar out of my way here. Sorry about that. All right. So can you see my PowerPoint okay there?
Good to go.
Right on. So basically what I want to just get across is Winebuster equals Petrobuster. So this is a story of a formula that has so many uses that it became impossible to market it for everything that it can do. It really is an unusual and interesting story behind it. So the foundation of it all is Petrobuster. And so when I speak about Petrobuster, I'll be speaking about the same product technically as Winebuster, just rebranded for focusing on different applications. So as we take a quick look here, one of the things, so as a Canadian, so we're Canadian. It is formulated for us in the US though. And actually we ship probably, well, over 50% of our product probably goes into the US. We do ship to Europe in various areas around the globe. One of the more interesting things recently is that our Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks approved Petrobuster to be used in the Algonquin Forest, which is a very pristine crown forest, one of our most prestigious forests in Canada. And so the loggers in there can't go in and can't manage and log the forest, and they have big contracts without having something to clean up spills like oil leaks, petroleum, and all of that, because it's quite bad for the environment. So they had to look at our ingredients and actually review it all to verify that it was quite safe and not harmful to the environment. So that was a huge thing to get in writing, giving authority to the Algonquin Forest Authority. From there, actually, we ended up speaking. We were invited to speak to Canadian Central Canada foresters at Science North in Sudbury in October, and they were all, well, actually, there was a number of them from around North America, and now a good number of them are actually buying, some of them even because our product is a great degreaser, they are going to replace their solvents in their sawmills because they're huge fire hazards in the forest as well. So not only a remediation product, but also a very effective degreaser. And actually, you'll see it's cheaper too than what they're using today. So that's forest. Now, from there, also the roads people, they have to clean and worry about spills in the roads and such. And again, I was a speaker at one of the Road Supervisors Association in our region, and that led to some slides and such around the use of cleaning up spills on the road in asphalt. And it actually removes the stains too. So that's why a lot of homeowners buy it, because it actually takes the oil stains out of the concrete and the asphalt. So they're not as concerned about the environmental aspect, but they don't like the stains. And so that's been a huge market for us. So you can deal with it on a small scale, small stains, or we have people that have bought brownfield polluted old gas stations that they got cheap and they ended up buying skids of our product and remediated the soil. So what it does is it makes the petroleum water soluble. And there's natural bacteria in it that naturally degrades the hydrocarbons. It consumes it. And in the end, they can get a positive, they can get a positive lab test back that gives them the approvals they need that the site's fully remediated for a lot less than for other options that are on the market today. So as a quick story, as a petroleum manager, so I managed a petroleum company in Ontario. So I'm from Ontario, Canada. So I managed this company. I was there 15 years. I found this formula that was developed approximately 35 years ago to satisfy an EPA action for a railway company in the US that had oil in the ballast water. So this formula is made by for us by a very large multi-billion dollar global biologic company, and they used all natural ingredients and bacteria to take care of this. And from there, it just Formula X until I came across it. From there, the formula itself makes petroleum water soluble, and it degrades and consumes the hydrocarbons. So basically, with this slide here, you can pour mass volumes of it into the ground and it will literally remediate soil. So people with heating oil spills, people actually, it'll kill the smell immediately on contact. So if somebody had heating oil leak in their house, and some people have that happen, they have to move out because it's diesel fuel. As soon as they treat it with our product, the smell's gone immediately and they move back in, no problem. And if they have to have environmental testing done, say it's in soil or what have you, they have no problem getting their tests. So basically, when I found this formula, I did some testing with it when I was with the petroleum company, and I was quite amazed at all that it could do. We brought it out at the time as Micro 50 through the petroleum company that I worked for. But unfortunately, at that time, people couldn't get their head around it. And the owner of the company, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, he didn't see the profit he was hoping for, although we sold pretty close to $500,000 worth in the first couple of years. Just nobody knew really how to apply it. So that ended. And I left that company in 2014. And then in 2015, the Canadian Oil Heat Association and an engineer had asked me to bring it back to market. So I created Petrobuster and I partnered with the engineer. Um, from there, actually, Canadian Oil Heat Association flew me out to Halifax to be guest speaker on how to keep oil heat clean. 'Cause that's a huge problem, actually. Anybody that's been around oil heat, it's a great heat source, but it's a big problem having diesel fuel around your house. But it can be managed, and that's why our product was so successful with that. Um, from there, and I bought out my partners, so then there just wasn't enough room really to share margins in a small company, and so I bought them out, which worked out really well. So our product has 4 different strains of natural occurring microbes or bacteria. One of them particularly you can find in the human body. Another one promotes plant growth. So they're all very natural. They're not harmful to us. They're just very safe, but very effective at breaking down hydrocarbons and petroleum. So basically, these bacteria and emit enzymes as they're doing their job. And so it's a sort of a microbial enzyme mix. The thing that does the emulsification, and this is also, I think, very relative to the red wine and the stains and fabrics and things, is the fact our product it makes petroleum water soluble, but it does that because it emulsifies it, like emulsifiers in the kitchen that cause oil and water to blend instead of resist each other. So there's an alcohol in it that comes from coconut. And it's an all natural, totally safe for the environment, actually very sustainable source, which is quite great, but it's a really effective emulsifier. And the other is citric acid that's in there. It's very good at emulsifying and breaking down grease and such. So those are the core ingredients. So the summary on that is there's 4 different kinds of bacteria that emit enzymes, and it's coconut derived with citrus extracts. So this is an example right here. So we had somebody that had delivered building supplies to a house, and the hydraulic line leaked all over the road and the driveway, and the homeowner didn't want to pay to clean the road. So we had the contractor use our product on the driveway. And I know the guy that did this, and I know he didn't put much effort in. So put it down, give it a scrub, wash it away. on concrete, put it down, leave it, and it'll totally dry out that stain. Asphalt, you just put it down, scrub, rinse, put it down, scrub, rinse. Usually it makes the tar look more brand new for about a week, and then the sun beats it down and you can't tell where that was. It just totally gets rid of it. Fuel spills on water, it's used heavily in the marina industry. If you have a fuel spill from a boat or any other thing on the water, you give it a little spray and it takes care of that immediately. Doesn't drop it to the bottom either, which is really important. It keeps it at the surface, and that way it doesn't hurt the aquatic life, and does a fantastic job on water. If you're just so when we referred to the military, one of the largest contractors, well, they are the largest contractors for the U.S. military, General Dynamics. So they ended up buying a couple skids because there was a 20,000 square foot, 100-year-old tool and die building that was purchased to be repurposed for manufacturing things that the military needed, and they needed to get 100 years worth of cutting oil out of that floor. So that's not the floor there. That's me doing another floor, but that's what they used it for, and it was quite successful. Degreasing, you can take solvents out of the parts cleaner and put our product in, and no more flammable. Actually, degreasing in a shop is toxic. People are using brake spray solvents, and they're breathing the fumes. The regs are flammable. They got to go into a steel bin to protect the place from burning down. And they can literally throw all that out. And you use our product in there to degrease all the parts and equipment. And now the rags can be washed, and the solution in the parts cleaner can go in the floor drain that goes into the oil water separator. It'll just clean it. And our product's cheaper than the solvents. It's used to clean trucks and equipment. People leach fuel off their equipment and their vehicles every day in the same place. And I know I have case studies where people have actually failed environmental studies, equipment rental company, because they leach petroleum into the same spot every day and polluted their land. So if they use our product to clean, they're constantly remediating their property. I did this one myself. This is a fuel nozzle guard. They're nice and new yellow. Diesel impregnates itself into the plastic here. I don't know why, but it literally pulls impregnated stains out of almost anything. It'll pull it out of vinyl tiles. It'll pull it out of painted walls. Just a light brushing. It pulled indelible ink out of an oak tabletop without harming the actual tabletop. But it made this fuel nozzle look brand new. So again, heating spills in houses, it works great. So this is where we get into the wine buster. I started using it on clothing, and one day we had a red wine stain, and I went, oh, this stuff's really, really effective. What else can I do with it? So we put it on the carpet that we could never get the red stain out of, and it took it out immediately. So we started working with it. My barber, he's an Italian guy, and he's got a cantina full of the Demigianas full of wine, and his father had spilled a bunch in his concrete floor. Nothing would take it out. As soon as you put Petrobuster on it, neutralized it, gone. Does the same with blood. It does it with blueberries. Does it with grease. It'll take all of that grease out of that workwear quite quickly. Yeah, so you can use it to clean your vehicles. I think it does a great job. I put it on I have a little Simonized device. So that's the overall use. Now, if you take a look at value, so you say, okay, people are selling these little 4-ounce bottles for $27, and our 32-ounce bottle is $39.99. So when you get your head wrapped around the value on that, it's really important. When you're buying it in bulk, so again, remember, these Petrobuster pails are the same thing. One of these pails is concentrate. It makes 5x, 5 times. So you add 4 parts water to 1 part Petrobuster. This spray bottle already has, like, you get it with 7 ounces approximately of concentrate. You just top it up with water. So same idea here. So if people are buying it in this kind of bulk, it's only $17 a gallon or $4.28 a liter. That's why it's cheaper than what they're using in their shops and degreasers. It's cheaper than most cleaners. It's even being used in restaurants and grease traps. And it was approved by a city. Well, the city of Red Deer uses it in municipal water. And it was a restaurant in Red Deer, Alberta, that asked if it was okay to put it in their grease trap. And the city said, sure, we use it. And I looked it up, and sure enough, they were a customer of ours. So there's just a bunch of bullet points of like places all around North America and other parts of the globe over in Europe that we've shipped to. And I would say, for the most part, that's the gist of it. Other than I can pop you into our store real quickly. and not as flashy as our health fellow there has a really nice looking store. So this is sort of new, but we don't have a lot of offerings currently. I mean, these are our core products. So you've got your spray bottle at $39.99 here, and we did have somebody in our group purchase both of these because she wanted to send this one to her brother that works in the oil rigs, and this was more appropriate than say somebody with their house and wine. So that's our store. And I don't know what else can I tell you there, Nick. That
That's
was
good. That's good. Let's bring on ooh, I lost her name for a second. I'm sorry. Let's bring
Evette.
Thank you, Matt. I lost all my pictures. Come on here real quick with us and back up anything that you saw or heard that you thought was super critical, important that you want everyone to hear. And anyone else, hit us with some questions in the Q&A while we still got Bill.
Oh, like I said, I've been trying it out on all kinds of different fabrics because, like I said, we've used it for fuel. My son dumped a whole bunch of cooking oil in our basement by accident. Concrete floor, it cleaned that up like just lickety split. And we were slipping and sliding after he dumped that cooking oil because we do have a small
And
restaurant.
for those of us under 46, is lickety split quick?
Yes, very quick. Sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I like to play like I like to act like I'm still very young, but I'm almost 46. So lickety split is indeed fast. Okay.
Yeah. And
So
my
Bill,
husband does a lot of the cooking and he gets the grease all over his belly. And he had this shirt and I'm like, you are not wearing that in public anymore. But he really, really likes it. So I took this to his shirt and it looked brand new. I took it to a leather jacket that had mold on it. It got stuck in a place that had a leak and it had mold on. It's just amazing what this stuff will clean. I think every laundry should have a bottle of this in their laundry room, and any mech shop or people that work at that, and especially spills. It protects our environment, which was really attractive to me.
Yvette jumped right in with the 20-liter pail for their first purchase. I didn't even know them. I just saw this order come in, and I wondered where this place was. And yeah,
well, now that's
Well,
about to be your top saleswoman.
yeah, absolutely.
How cool is that? Okay, I wanted to log in there real quickly, guys, so I can show you. For those of you guys that don't know, if you look down here, this is where you see commissions. So your first purchase rewards right here. $37 goes to the person who's selling it, plus another 73 going into the marketplace commissions for all of the team development that's going on there. And then you got reorder bonuses right there. So don't forget that that's where you find those on the lower part. Anything you want me to point out here, Bill, before we jump to our final vendor for tonight?
No, just on this particular product, it can be used in homes, but also it's got a high potential for business and like high consumption. If you get like companies and any organization onto this, fuel companies, you name it.
I got a question actually. So I did a real estate development where we had to remediate a large piece of land for a former steel manufacturing plant that was just abandoned, but that land needed to be resoiled and we had to do all kinds of stuff. Are you go ahead. So are you saying to me there was a world where, or is that too big of a project when you're doing?
Oh, it is that. So we have people that have bought. I had a guy in Quebec that bought a brownfield site. It was an old gas station. There was acres and acres. It was just too contaminated, the water, the soil, everything. His engineering firm had never heard of us. He bought like 3 skids probably over the course of a year. And when I called him one day, asked him if he needed any more, he basically like Frank's, like the hot sauce, that shit works. Excuse my expression.
No, that's all right. We swear here. What's the
Laugh? Yeah, and so
what's the time frame of something like that? So I'm going back in time. We spent so much money on soil I think you had to put like a foot, maybe two, something crazy.
It was about a year, and it was down in the water column too, and it sorted out the water table as well. So we have stories like that all over. I had a guy, yeah. So
I can give you one story that happened. My husband was using a backhoe to move a propane tank, and he blew the hydraulic hose. So of course it spilt out onto the ground, and we put the Petrobuster on there, and you can't even tell where he spilt it anymore.
And that it was used on the Hoover Dam for the same purpose. Somebody blew a hydraulic line on the dam and they bought our product to clean it up. But yeah, your case there, Nick, it's used in large scale remediation. Yeah.
Nice. So I think I might have a client for you. I'll be back. So we got a question here from Cassie. Cassie didn't say where she lives, but she wants to know if she can get it by Christmas in the next 4 days. Plus the weekend.
There's a good chance if you get the order in tonight. So we're really quick at shipping. I really pride myself on that.
Okay.
I'll go out of my way to get something.
So that's a Canadian answer, though. You're going to get that all the way to Vancouver from where you're at? If she was in Vancouver?
I've actually got it to California in 1 day. I've got
All
it
right.
to Hawaii in 3 days before. But I mean, everything's a variable, right? Some people are closer to delivery depots and other people are, a little ways out. So
Depending on that shipping cost, Cassie, that might just be one of those late Christmas presents you give to somebody. By the way, I love late Christmas presents because everything gets merged together when you do the one Christmas. Give me a late Christmas present and an early one. I'll remember those more.
there's a good chance they'll would get out tomorrow. So yeah.
All right. Well, Bill, Evette, thank you so much. Bill, I'm serious. I'm calling my real estate partner later. We're going to talk about this.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm trying to knock out some pallets for you. He's doing a large former factory right now, which is 3-4 times the size of the one we did.
Right on. We're fully trademarked in the United States and Canada as well, so we've taken this all the way. Yeah.
All
And
right.
you're shipping it to the UK too as well, aren't you, Bill?
Yeah, Europe and UK in there. Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, guys.